Welcome to this masterclass on Olecranon fractures, where we'll explore the critical interplay between the extensor mechanism and the ulna humeral articulation. These fractures represent roughly 10% of all elbow injuries, with a bimodal distribution seen in high-energy young patients and older individuals falling onto osteoporotic bone. The hallmark is disruption of the triceps insertion, and your key clinical test is assessing whether the patient can extend against gravity. Any displacement beyond 2 millimeters or loss of active extension demands surgical intervention. The Mayo classification elegantly guides treatment by focusing on displacement, comminution, and elbow stability. Type 1 injuries are stable and undisplaced, suitable for conservative management, whilst Type 2 fractures are displaced but stable, and Type 3 add the complexity of an unstable elbow. The presence of comminution, denoted by the B subgroup, shifts fixation strategy from tension band wiring toward plating. The true lateral radiograph is your most critical imaging tool, revealing displacement, comminution, and crucially, any anterior subluxation of the ulna that would signal a Type 3 or trans-Olecranon injury. Always scrutinize the film for associated coronoid and radial head fractures, which together constitute the terrible triad pattern. Computed tomography is invaluable for comminuted patterns and preoperative planning, and never forget to assess the subcutaneous skin for open wounds or dangerous abrasions. The management paradigm begins with your clinical and radiographic assessment of the extensor mechanism and fracture displacement. Conservative treatment with a posterior splint is reserved for Mayo Type 1, with early motion at 1 to 2 weeks and serial imaging. For displaced but stable transverse fractures, tension band wiring remains the classic fixation, whilst comminution, instability, or trans-Olecranon patterns mandate plating, and in elderly low-demand patients with severe comminution, fragment excision with triceps advancement is a reasonable consideration. The TBW monic ensures proper tension band wiring technique. 2 parallel K-wires of 1.6 to 2 millimeters are placed either intramedullary or bicortically, and critically, they must engage the anterior cortex distally to anchor securely. A 1 to 1.2 millimeter wire is then passed in a figure of 8 configuration, deep to the triceps and superficial to the K-wires on the tension side, converting distracting forces into compressive ones at the fracture site. The PLATE mnemonic captures exactly when to avoid tension band wiring and choose plating instead. Consider plating when the fracture extends proximally into the shaft, when there's a long oblique pattern over 30 degrees, or when articular comminution produces multiple joint surface fragments. Trans-Olecranon fracture dislocations require plating to restore joint congruity, and elderly patients with osteoporosis benefit since poor bone quality compromises K-wire purchase. The 2-30-50 rule anchors your decision thresholds. 2 millimeters is the articular step-off that mandates surgical fixation, whilst 30 degrees of obliquity tips you toward plating, rather than tension band wiring. The 50% figure is crucial for patient counseling. That's the rate of symptomatic hardware removal after tension band wiring, compared with 22% for plates. The complications profile directly reflects fixation choice. Symptomatic hardware affects roughly 50% of tension band wiring cases compared to 22% of plated fractures in randomized trial data. Elbow stiffness occurs in 10 to 20% of patients, whilst non-union rates sit between 5 and 10%, typically requiring revision fixation with plating and bone grafting. Consider this 35-year-old man with a 5 millimeter displaced transverse fracture and a clinically stable elbow. This is a classic Mayo Type 2A injury, and the displacement alone is your surgical indication. After confirming extensor mechanism disruption, tension band wiring is the standard fixation for this simple transverse pattern. But you must counsel the patient about the 50% symptomatic hardware removal rate. This 72-year-old woman presents a complex picture, a comminuted fracture with anterior ulnar subluxation on the lateral radiograph. This represents a trans-olecranon fracture dislocation with ulnohumeral joint disruption, and a CT scan is essential to evaluate the coronoid, radial head, and degree of comminution. Plate fixation is required to restore the trochlear notch dimensions, and tension band wiring is contraindicated because the anterior cortex hinge is destroyed.